Have you ever looked at your bank account, right before payday and just wondered, where did it all go? You're earning a good salary, you work hard, but somehow there's just nothing left to show for it. It's a super frustrating and honestly a really common feeling. So if you're ready to figure out where your money is really going, and more importantly, how to get it back, well, you're in the right place. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? That feeling of your money just evaporating. You get paid, you cover your bills, and then poof. It feels like you're on a financial treadmill, right? You're always running, always working, but you're never actually moving forward. I've definitely felt that way. But what if the problem isn't what you think it is? And this right here really gets to the heart of it. We are so often focused on earning more, thinking that the next raise will finally be the thing that solves everything. But the truth is, real financial stability isn't just about how much money you make. It's about building a system to control where that money goes. So here's our plan for today. Think of it as a financial checkup. First, we're going to run a diagnosis. We'll look for the hidden leaks and then the bigger cracks in your financial foundation. After that, we get to the prescription, a clear 5-step action plan you can use right away. And finally, we'll look at the big picture, how to move beyond just living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, let's start with what I like to call the financial ninjas. These are the small, almost invisible expenses that sneak up on you and drain your account without you even noticing they were there. The best way to think about it is like this. Your salary is all the water pouring into a bucket every single month. But if that bucket is full of tiny little holes, and trust me, we all have them, it doesn't matter how much water you pour in, it's always going to be leaking out. So our first job is to find those holes. And here they are, the usual suspects. That daily coffee run, the food delivery because you're tired, the streaming service you forgot you were even paying for, the dinner out because you felt like you had to go. Does any of this sound familiar? Each one seems so small on its own, right? Yeah, you barely even think about them. A few bucks here, a few there. It feels totally harmless. No big deal. So let's take a super simple, super relatable example. Let's say you spend about 15 bucks a day on a coffee and lunch while you're at work. A lot of us do that. But what happens when you repeat that small, harmless little habit day after day for a whole month? It becomes $450. That's a car payment or a plane ticket. Seeing that number up there, it kind of changes things, doesn't it? Suddenly that harmless little habit doesn't feel so harmless anymore. And that right there is the power of these hidden leaks. Okay, so we've found the small leaks. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger, more dangerous problems. We're talking about the deep cracks in your financial foundation that can cause the whole thing to come crashing down. Now, this is probably one of the biggest and, let's be honest, most seductive traps out there. You get a raise and you think, finally, I can breathe. But instead of that extra money going to your savings or your future, your spending just sort of expands to swallow it whole. So you end up working harder, earning more, but you're not getting any richer. Does this look a little too familiar to anyone else? That upgrade to a fancier car, moving to that bigger apartment, these are the classic signs of lifestyle inflation. It's where your needs mysteriously expand the exact moment your paycheck does. And here's where things get really dangerous. When you rely on credit cards, you're literally borrowing from your future self. Every single dollar you earn next month is already gone because it has to go pay for things you bought last month. It is a vicious cycle that keeps you perpetually stuck, always paying for the past instead of building for the future. And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at where a massive chunk of our money goes before we can even touch it. These are our fixed costs, the big bills you have to pay every single month, no matter what. If your rent and car payment are too high for your income, your budget is basically sunk from the get-go. These huge fixed costs leave you with almost zero wiggle room. This is the final and maybe the most critical crack in the foundation. Without a safety net, a simple car repair isn't just an inconvenience. It's a full-blown crisis that sends you deeper into debt. An emergency fund is what separates a little bump in the road from a total financial catastrophe. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom. We've spent enough time looking at the problems. Now for the best part, the fix. Let's shift gears from what's going wrong to what you can do starting right now to take back control. This is your action plan. Before you download any app or make a complicated budget, it all starts with this one simple but powerful mindset shift. See, most of us try to save whatever's left at the end of the month, which, let's be real, is usually nothing. The wealthy, they do the complete opposite. They pay themselves first. They make their future a priority, and then they figure out how to live on what's left over. It changes everything. So here are the 5 concrete steps you can take. First, track everything for just 1 month. You have to know where your money is actually going. Second, do a subscription audit. Be ruthless and cut what you don't really use. Third, start that emergency fund, even if it's just with 20 bucks. Fourth, adopt a simple budgeting rule. And fifth, make a plan to aggressively attack that high-interest debt. And if you need a simple framework, this is a fantastic place to start. The 50-30-20 rule gives every single one of your dollars a clear job. 50% of your take-home pay goes to essential needs, like housing and groceries. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And a full 20% is dedicated to your future, savings and paying off debt. It's simple, it's clear, and it is incredibly effective. So once you have your system in place, what's the long-term goal here? Well, it's not just to stop feeling broke. It's to completely change your financial destiny by looking beyond your next paycheck. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. A high salary might make you comfortable, but it can never, ever make you free. Freedom, that comes from discipline. It comes from having a plan and from making your money work for you. It really isn't about what you earn. It's about what you do with it. You gotta think of your salary like a really powerful tool, like a hammer. You can use that hammer to build something incredible, right? A solid financial house that will protect you for life. Or you can just let it sit in the toolbox and rust. The difference between feeling broke and feeling secure is simply picking up that tool and starting to build. So I'll leave you with this one question. We've talked about the leaks, the cracks, and the plan to fix them. You now have the blueprint. So what's the very first small step you're going to take today to start plugging that first hole in your bucket?